tie and a fancy job, big old house, 2-car garage. He works hard for his wife and his son. An empty seat at T-ball games, it's just a sacrifice he'll make. He'll make it up next weekend comes along. Years go by and that day comes too soon. That boy goes off to college, you stand in his empty room. The trouble is, you think you have time, you think tomorrow's always coming down the line. And then one day, you wake up and you find the trouble is, you thought you had time. Shotgun shells and a tackle box on the floorboard of a truck. Morning sun, burning fog off a lake. A teenage girl with her granddad, he takes her fishing, but he feels bad 'cause she can't take her eyes off that old Facebook page. But someday soon, who knows how long, she'll look up from that phone and he'll be gone.
Please welcome the Englefeld grads of 2017.
You think you have time, you think tomorrow's always coming down.
Now, grads, now you just have to wait a minute. I have to capture this moment on film. I think it's, or digitally, I think it's the first time we've all been together for a grad practice. Just in case someone asks. Grads, you may be seated. We didn't practice the taking off of the jacket part. Well done, boys, well done. I am Mrs. Patricia Knaffel, and I will be your mistress of ceremonies this evening. I would like to call on Father Francis to say grace.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. So God our Father, we ask for your almighty hand upon our graduates. Bless their lives from this day on with goodness and love. Help them to stay true to their dreams, to use their gifts wisely, and to walk into the future with hope, faith, and great love. We pray for their parents. We pray for their teachers. It is our prayer that you, Lord, continue to be with them in all their endeavors. And as we gather here to share our oneness, we ask you to come into our midst to bless us and to bless the food that we are going to share. And so together we pray, bless us, O Lord, and these are gifts which we are about to receive for thy goodness through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
For supper this evening, the meal is buffet style. The grads have us eating off of china, which is awesome. We don't have to worry about juggling a paper plate. And the grads are going to self-serve as well. Now, it could be that some of the grads have a parent assigned to fill up their plates. But first will be the grads. Second, and I'm pulling rank here, is going to be my table because all of us that are doing speeches are over there as teachers. So we're actually going to go second, and then we'll keep going across to the other side. So altar mats and families over there. Is that De Los Santos there? You're going to be next, and then we'll come and we'll go weed back and forth. And so the tables across the front will be the last ones to go into the buffet line today. I'm sorry. Okay, so grads, you may get up, and gentlemen, you would stand first, of course, and help the ladies. I'm not sure if they're going to get their own plate or not. And, the weather was a factor again today for driving in. Mr. Burton said it was so bad driving from Humboldt he couldn't even see at times. So, but we are. I think we have a minute to spare, maybe. But is that my microphone, Mr. Burton? That's making that weird sound. Okay. Okay. So the grads are going to process in to the song "Time" by Dean Brody.
Kids on our pedal bikes in a dusty town we'd arrive to the general store for Popeye cigarettes. Class of '99, yeah, we lived, laughed, loved, and cried, and took for granted that those days would never end. Living like that yearbook picture wouldn't fade, but some standing right beside me might never see again. The trouble is, you think you have time, you think tomorrow's always coming down the line. Then one day, you wake up and you find the trouble is, you thought you had time. Suit and tie and a fancy job, big old house, 2-car garage. He works hard for his wife and his son. An empty seat at T-ball games is just a sacrifice he'll make. He'll make it up next weekend comes along. Years go by and that day comes too soon. That boy goes off to college, you stand in his empty room. The trouble is, you think you have time, you think tomorrow's always coming down the line. And then one day, you wake up and you find the trouble is, you thought you had time. Shotgun shells and a tackle box on the floorboard of a truck. Morning sun, burning fog off a lake. A teenage girl with her granddad, he takes her fishing, but he feels bad 'cause she can't take her eyes off that old Facebook page. But someday soon, who knows how long, she'll look up from that phone, he'll be gone.
Please welcome the Englefeld grads of 2017.
You think you have time, you think tomorrow's always coming down.
Now, grads, now you just have to wait a minute. I have to capture this moment on film. I think it's, or digitally, I think it's the first time we've all been together for a grad practice. Just in case someone asks. Grads, you may be seated. We didn't practice the taking off of the jacket part. Well done, boys, well done. I hope that our sound system can support the competition. Please remain seated. Our grads are going to enter to the song Time by Dean Brody.
Gang of kids on our pedal bikes, in a dusty town we'd arrive to the general store for Popeye cigarettes. Class of 99, yeah, we lived, laughed, loved, and cried, and took for granted that those days would never end. Living like that yearbook picture wouldn't fade, but some standing right beside me might never see again. The trouble is, you think you have time, you think tomorrow's always coming down the line. Then one day, you wake up and you find the trouble is, you thought you had time. Suit and tie and a fancy job, big old house, two-car garage. He works hard for his wife and his son. An empty seat at T-ball games, it's just a sacrifice he'll make. He'll make it up next weekend comes along. Years go by and that day comes too soon. And that boy goes off to college, you stand in his empty room. The trouble is, you think you have time, you think tomorrow's always coming down the line. And then one day, you wake up and you find the trouble is, you thought you had time. Shotgun shells and a tackle box on the floorboard of a truck. Morning sun, burning fog off a lake. A teenage girl with her granddad, he takes her fishing, but he feels bad 'cause she can't take her eyes off that old Facebook page. But someday soon, who knows how long, she'll look up from that phone, he'll be gone. The trouble is, you think you have time.
It is with great honor that I present to you the Englefeld graduating class of 2017. This evening, Celine Mascolzi, accompanied by Dulcie Kersinger, will lead us in singing O Canada. Please rise.
With
Grads, you may be seated. Can you find your water bottles, grad? Are they there? Okay, good. Can you hear me back there? Okay. We just wanted to be sure with all the fans and the air conditioning and everything going that the sound levels were still good back there. Also tonight there's various video cameras set up. We actually are live streaming our graduation this evening so that some families that can't be here are able to watch or later on find it on our YouTube channel as well. And for more information on that, when you leave, if you just look at the monitor in the hall, like right by the entrance, all the information is there that you need to find that live streaming. Good evening, graduates, parents, honored guests, and community members. My name is Mrs. Patricia Knaffel, and I will be your mistress of ceremonies for this evening. Well, when I think of this grad, one word comes to mind: questions. 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 Grade 12s, if I could define your class by one word, it would be questions. This class is always thinking, always pondering, always inquiring. Over the years, some questions were extremely important, such as, when is this assignment due, Mrs. Knaffel? Usually on the due date. Whereas others were more mundane, almost prosaic, such as, Mrs. Knaffel, what should I do if my mom forgot to pack my gym clothes? Asked after the 5th consecutive time of not having gym clothes for class. Well, whatever the reason for the query, be assured that with this class, an answer was expected immediately. Well, grads, that was back in the days of grade 7, 8. Since that time, you've grown up. You've learned a lot about yourselves and about life. Yet despite the gains in maturity and wisdom, some things have not changed. Asking questions and waiting impatiently for an answer still characterize your group, especially this year as the planning for graduation day unfolded. Now, I usually keep a document on my computer with little notes to kind of give me some inspiration for grad, for the address, for talking about the students. So, I have a note on my desktop from the first week of school. I was asked when we would be having our first official grad meeting, as the group was anxious to get started on planning. When we did have that first meeting, and it was very early in the year, I might add, there were in fact some great questions posed. I don't remember specific questions, but I know the group wanted to know about the slideshow and how many pictures each grad could incorporate, and who was in charge of arranging the cap and gown pictures, along with details about the banquet, such as the number of table guests each grad would be able to invite. Each question was answered, in detail, I might add. Notes were recorded, and a summary of the meeting was posted in a prominent place near my office door. But as the year progressed, the questions continued, ranging from those of high importance, such as, Mrs. Knaffel, what do you see me doing in the future? Or, I have some questions about the slideshow. To those of lesser consequence, including, can we have another grad meeting to discuss decorations? Or, can I invite more than 8 guests to the grad banquet? Who buys the water bottles for on stage? And who gets the fans for the stage? Well, I've been pondering all year how I can incorporate this myriad of inquiries into a short time frame. The only solution I found was to use a clinical, scientific approach and create an in-depth analysis of the situation. I began with a thesis statement that goes something like this. The type of question posed by a student is directly related to his or her birth order within the family structure. Now, with a thesis statement like that, I needed to do some research as to the personality types within a family. I decided to use my own life experiences for this data. So with my many, many, many years of teaching experience and my role as a parent, here's my quick synopsis of the style of inquiries that might come from a child within a family context. For the oldest in the family, the questions asked are often task-driven. They're the responsible child. These will often be interspersed with ones that strive to break new ground or challenge the rules. After all, you are the oldest, and it's up to you to break in your parents. For the youngest, your questions generally focus on getting what you want, when you want it, where you want it, why you want it, and how you want it right now. Yeah, you see the chuckles up there, they know. You are the youngest after all. No need to break in your parents. Your older siblings have taken care of that job for you. Then there are the children who find themselves somewhere in the middle, literally, or those who are the only child. You carry the daunting task of balance. Your questions straddle the fine line of forging new pathways and pondering life, like the oldest. But at the same time, speaking loud enough so that your voice is heard the first time. A little of the youngest comes through there. Well, with the research in place, it was time to make a connection with the graduates and their questions and attempt to tie everything together to the thesis statement. Sounds like an English essay, doesn't it? Well, in this grads, there are 6 students who are the oldest in the family. If those grads could raise their hands, please, so everybody knows who the oldest in the family is. Tanner doesn't want to admit that he's the oldest in the family because he knows what's coming, I'm sure. There are 5 who are the youngest in the family. Please raise your hands so everybody knows who you are, the youngest in the family. And then we have 3 that are the only child or middle child, so you could raise your hands now. Okay, there we go. So, someone, not naming any names, did in fact ask every single one of those questions I told you about at the beginning. So grads, I'm going to quiz you. Who would have asked to have a grad meeting on September 1st, right now, as soon as possible? It was Hannah. The youngest, of course, getting what they want now. Who would have asked the philosophical questions about life in the future? Who do you think might have done that? Yep. That belongs to that small group, the middle child, the only child, trying to figure out where he or she fits in the world. And who would have worried about the decorations because he or she wanted to ensure the talking would become action and that the decorations would be completed on time? No, that was Peyton. Do you remember that, Peyton? We did a lot of talk and not a lot of action? Yeah. Someone who's the oldest, the responsible one, the one who is task-driven. Truly, every single grad had at least one question that needed attention. Sometimes one person spoke for the entire group. At other times, a question was more personal. But each was important enough to be asked, and each was important enough to be answered. Many times the answers you received were not the answers you wanted or expected. Other times your questions created change and a new way of thinking. I'm sure next week someone will once again pick up the gauntlet, and without a doubt, one of you might even attempt to see if the date of a departmental exam can be changed because you happen to have a really important appointment on the day of the ELA final exam. And no, Tyler, we can't change any dates of any departmental exams, just saying. No matter the outcome, though, never stop asking, grade 12s. It is through inquiring minds that the world is changed for the better, one question at a time. For more insight into the lives of these young men and women that you see before you, I would like to call on Callie Murray and Tanner Zimmerman for the introduction of the grads.
Tyler Joseph Altermat was kicked out of heaven on April 15th, 1999, because God got tired of hearing the same story one too many times. Tyler, or Ty, is not only known for his stories, but also for his quirky inventions and for eating his lunch whenever he feels like it. During school hours, Tyler can be found anywhere except at school. During the odd time he graces us with his presence, he can be found looking for papers, wandering the halls, and telling Marie stories. In 10 years, we see Tyler owning his own Storytime coffee shop, where he can tell his customers the same stories over and over again. But for now, Tyler plans to work on the family farm.
Michael Cameron Carnago was evicted from heaven on September 28, 1998, for telling God to get out. As a creature of habit, Michael arrives at school at precisely 8:55, parks in his spot, always uses the same computer, constantly eats blue whales, and tells his classmates to get out as a reply to any statement. In fitting with his habitual character, Michael's choice of sports never changes. He has been swimming for as long as we can remember. Over the years, he has won so many medals, there are far too many to count. In 10 years, we see Michael arriving at the pool 5 minutes before his shift to teach swimming lessons and give out blue whales to the kids. Until then, Michael will be taking electrical engineering at St. Peter's College.
Noah Hunter Carnago was safely ejected from heaven on December 15th, 1998, for spending too much time on his computer. Here on Earth, things haven't changed much. Many hours are spent watching anime, playing video games, and rage quitting when he loses. Despite the attitude his legendary rage squawks give off, Noah is actually a very kind, generous person. He is almost too nice for his own good. In fact, the odd time he does say no, his classmates are surprised. In 10 years, we see Noah creating an online business that provides rage counseling for young gamers. In the meantime, Noah will be attending the University of Saskatchewan for computer engineering.
Gillier John Crisanto silently left heaven on November 26, 1997, when God asked who wanted to stay, and Gillier didn't speak loud enough to be heard. Gillier can often be seen laughing at some silly remark. Yes, seen laughing, not heard. In fact, the only people who know what his laugh sounds like or can get him to laugh out loud are Lance and Dean. When Gillier is not at school, he can be found at the Watson Co-op, packing groceries, trying to pay off his dream car. In 10 years, we see Gillier managing the Co-op grocery store, still making payments on his car. In the meantime, he will be attending Sask Polytechnic in Saskatoon to receive his certificate as an automotive service technician.
Jewel de los Santos was grounded and sent from heaven for eating all of God's cheese on April 22nd, 1999. The cheese punishments did not stop there. One time, Tyler had to bring her cheese to school because she had lost her cheese privileges. Along with cheese, Jewel also has a deep love for pizza, Minnie Mouse, cats, and perfection. Her meticulous handwriting is impressive. Despite her obsession with perfection, Jewel did have one major mishap this year. She went to work in Humboldt one Friday morning thinking it was Saturday. In 10 years, we see Jewel working at Disneyland, selling cheese, but always showing up for the wrong shift. Until then, she will be attending St. Peter's College for a nursing degree.
Lance Ryan Gonzalez was born on December 18, 1998. Yes, that is his birthday. We know he told us using one of his famous one-liners because he was annoyed after being asked 6 times. Although he is known for being quiet and reserved, he also has moments of pure comedy. One day, he forgot his gym clothes and asked to go home to get them. Despite living the closest to the school out of all of us, he felt the need to drive. This resulted in a slight reprimand. We're not sure if this was because he drove or because he had used someone else's vehicle. In 10 years, we see Lance on Just for Laughs performing stand-up comedy, still trying to get Gilliard to laugh out loud. For now, he plans to work for a year, then pursue a career in information technology.
Celine Marie Muscolzi was kicked out of heaven on November 10th, 1999 for using too many megabytes of God's hard drive with her photos. During school, Celine can usually be found working quietly, unless she is correcting Jules' grammar or tapping people on their shoulder to show them something on her computer. Some of her hobbies include eating food, usually popcorn, watching Netflix, usually Supernatural, or taking photos, usually of dogs. Celine's artistic side has been demonstrated a great deal throughout the years. Besides being editor of the yearbook, she takes part in drama and voice lessons. In 10 years, we see Celine being a paparazzi photographer, chasing around the cast of Supernatural. In the meantime, she will be attending the University of Regina for education, specializing in the arts.
Hannah Teresa Molenbeek was booted out of heaven on February 15th, 1999 for waking God and his angels with her thunderous sneeze and her zebra-like laugh. During school, Hannah can easily be located, whether it be in the computer room, finishing the forgotten SRC agenda 5 minutes before a meeting, or in the grade 11-12 room, commenting on the difficulty of an exam. During the exam, Hannah is known for her love of coffee, tea, carbonated water, juice, milk, pop, anything but water. And let's not forget about cats. She loves cats. In 10 years, we see Hannah forgetting to run her privately owned Catfe, a cafe that strictly sells everything but water and is filled with adoptable cats. But for now, Hannah will be attending St. Peter's College to obtain her commerce degree.
Callie Ann Murray sped out of heaven on a high-speed chase on December 15th, 1999 to avoid getting a speeding ticket. When Callie isn't speeding down the highway, she can be found cruising around town, listening to music. While at school, Callie enjoys sorting her Welch gummies by color on her desk and eating them by amount of each color. This process takes forever. From least to greatest, of course. In addition to eating Welch's, Callie spends her lunch hours calling her mom, texting her mom, or waiting for her mom to reply. She never has. In 10 years, we see Callie owning her own racetrack so she can legally speed and working as a receptionist on the side. But in the meantime, she plans to take a year off to work and then receive a diploma in early childhood education.
Dawson Regan Rhea was kicked out of heaven on August 12, 1999 for going 220 kilometers an hour in his obnoxiously loud truck the one time it was running. During school, Dawson can be found hiding in the bathrooms to avoid doing as much schoolwork as humanly possible, talking about his truck and what repairs it needs, or with his head in his desk. Outside of school, Dawson can be found driving around aimlessly. One day, while driving to a friend's house, probably going faster than his truck should go, it broke down, forcing him to walk the remaining distance. In 10 years, Dawson will still be walking everywhere he needs to go because his truck will be broken once again. Until then, he will be attending Carleton Trail Regional College in Humboldt for welding.
Carter Reese Ronville fell out of heaven with a thud on March 2nd, 1999, after rolling off of his bed. Not only does Carter tell us stories about falling off beds, Carter also enjoys informing us about his brother's pigs. Barely a day goes by that the class is not told a story about the pigs or Taylor and his farm in general. But pigs and Taylor are not Carter's only loves in life. He also loves hockey, pushing people's buttons, and traveling. In fact, he loves traveling so much that when asked how many places he's been to, he could not answer without spending 10 minutes counting. In 10 years, we see Carter owning his own pig farm and adding to his list of travel destinations. Until that dream becomes reality, Carter is planning to obtain his journeyman certificate in heavy equipment and truck and transport at Sask Polytechnic in Saskatoon.
Peyton Bailey Zimmerman was kicked out of heaven on January 12, 1999, for making rollies out of the Bible. Ever since, she has continued to make rollies out of nearly every paper she comes into contact with. During school, Peyton can be found working tirelessly, or at least that's what she wants the teachers to believe. After school, she is almost always playing a variety of sports, like volleyball or badminton. To most, Peyton appears to be very smart. She is one of the highest averages in the class. However, those who know her more personally know she can be very absent-minded and has had her fair share of blonde moments. One time, Peyton suggested her group use a strong leaf and a flat rock to design a garden hoe. Have you found that strong leaf yet? Another instance when her blondness came through was when she commented to her friends that the sun looked like it was on fire. In 10 years, we see Peyton on the cover of People magazine being spotlighted for her blonde moments and rolly obsession. But for now, she will be taking pre-pharmacy at St. Peter's College.
Bing Bing Zhang was evicted from heaven on October 23, 1998, for arguing with God over his existence. Apparently, she didn't learn much from that experience because she will argue with Hannah at any time over anything. In school, Bing Bing can be found sitting at her laptop, eating granola bars, or working anywhere away from her noisy classmates. When she is forced to be in the same room as her classmates, she often resorts to wearing earplugs. Along with being very stubborn, Bing Bing is also very intelligent and has an incredible memory. In 10 years, we see Bing Bing still arguing with Hannah, but wearing earplugs so she can't hear Hannah's side of the argument. Until then, Bing Bing will be attending the University of Saskatchewan for pharmacology and physiology.
Tanner David Zimmerman was ousted from heaven for forgetting to do God's chores on May 3rd, 1999. That was the first of a lifetime full of forgetfulness. One day, Tanner could not find his keys after an 8-hour shift at work. Fortunately, he located them in his van. Unfortunately, they were still in the ignition and the van was still running. Tanner is not only absent-minded outside of school, but also at school. On a regular basis, he can be heard saying, "Oh, is that due today?" Or, "I thought I was done that." Or, "There's a test?" Or, "I give up." Despite his absent-mindedness, Tanner is actually brilliant, especially when it comes to technology and computer design. In fact, he has built his own 4-pound computer with a rainbow light-up keyboard. In 10 years, we see Tanner creating an organizational app to help people just like him. But for now, he will be attending St. Peter's College for a Bachelor of Commerce degree.
Thank you so much. They know each other so well, and it's always exciting to see what they have to say. Next, we will be hearing from our guest speaker. But sometimes it's nice to know a little bit about the guest speaker before the guest speaker actually gets to guest speak. And so Mr. Burton is going to come forward to introduce the person who will deliver to you the message, graduates.
So a guest speaker's role is typically to share knowledge, impart wisdom, and most importantly, they are meant to inspire. Tonight's guest speaker covers all of those requirements, but not only just here this evening, daily, be it in her classroom, the staff room, or our school as a whole. Through her passion for teaching, she has helped many students grow and expand their learning capabilities, setting them up to succeed in many aspects of their lives. She unabashedly displays a vibrant school spirit, leading by example more times than often when it comes to spirit days, pep rallies, and other SRC-directed events, allowing the students to grow in their own confidence and leadership skills. She is looked up to as a caring and compassionate person, which spreads into all corners of her work and is why she's such a stellar inspiration, even if it's in her bare feet most of the time. The grads this year have a strong connection to their choice and guest speaker, a bond formed over the years of working together, and one that I'm sure they'll be looked upon fondly as they move out from our school. It is my pleasure to introduce to you this evening Mrs. Corrine Harcourt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests and graduates. First of all, I'd like to truly thank Jeff for those extremely kind words. You honor me, my friend. Thank you. Don't they look amazing? I'm not used to seeing them like this. They're usually in hoodies or wrapped in blankets, so you look phenomenal. When Callie came to me a couple months ago and asked me to be guest speaker, I immediately said yes, because I love this group. About 3 hours later, I think it took that long, I was in the gym on supervision and it hit me, like, what had I done? And I think in one sentence, I used all 3 words that I never allow you students to say. So after I calmed down, I realized what an honor it truly is to speak here tonight, and I'd like to thank you, the graduating class, for choosing me to be part of this wonderful occasion. I'm gonna just turn and look at you, it's easier. That's a big class out there. So I've racked my brain, I've searched my heart, and I've spent a lot of time worrying about exactly the right things to say to you, to let you know the impact that you've had on me and on this community and this school. And I struggled, I really struggled. And not because I didn't have enough to work with, but because I had too much to say. And I know it's not often I have a lot to say, right? But I could have taken this speech in so many directions. I could have given some great advice to take to your future, but I figured I do that every day, so that would be boring for you. So I was at an impasse. Never had I procrastinated so much. Never, Dawson Tyler, never had I. It was just this past week, actually, when one of you told me, and thank you for that, Mrs. H, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be authentic. Authentic. I looked it up. It says of undisputed origin. Now, that messed everything up because nothing with this group is undisputed, ever. They're always up for an argument. So, no, I couldn't use that definition. The next one said genuine, of a person, emotion, or action. Well, that I could do. So here goes, and no disputing. This is personal, this is emotional, and this is sincere. First of all, congratulations to all of you. You should be very proud of yourselves for accomplishing this goal. It's taken a lot of hard work, a lot of late nights, and probably one too many early mornings in your eyes. But here you are at your graduation. Now, it's been a number of years since I graduated, So long ago that you probably think I don't even remember who my guest speaker was at grad. But I do. It was actually one of your parents. I won't mention who, but Carter, I'm not sure I remember a thing your dad had to say to me that night. Now, what I do remember is that my guest speaker ended up getting married to one of my classmates. I guess she got a lot more out of his speech than I did. Sorry, Brent. Don't worry, I won't be marrying anyone. In fact, I turned Hannah down flat at the last SRC meeting when she proposed to me. So I've asked myself over and over again what important lessons I wish Brent would have taught me. But the lessons are many. And you guys were the ones that were there to learn with me. And together we've faced rough times. We've done a lot of things together, great things. We've stumbled, and on the rare occasion, we've made a mistake. But it's been a long road. Now, many of you may not know this, but I used to teach K-1-2, and I was teaching elementary on their very first day of school. And they came in so bright and eager. We missed those days dreadfully, but sometime after that, I decided to see if they were still bright and eager, and I moved up to middle years and high school, and I had the pleasure of teaching them again. This group has amazed me so many times. From their first day of school, probably right till their last, they continue to amaze us here in Englefeld. Well, like today, I am truly amazed that you're all here, you're all ready, you're on time, your eyes are open. I wish I would have been prepared because I might have choreographed that happy dance I promised you years ago, but sorry. I was especially amazed last week when I overheard them asking, can we please have physics instead of phys ed today? We've missed way too many physics classes. Like, who does that? They do. They are amazing. You guys have taught me so much, and it was with you that I truly, truly learned to love teaching. So on this beautiful day, before these 14 eager graduates, I want to share a few stories and lessons that they have taught me. You've taught me to be passionate. However that looks to you, whether it be through creativity, innovation, imagination, in love, sorrow, whatever. Like Jewel, belting out songs in the hotel room on the ski trip. Or Hannah, now her sneezes are passionate. You can hear them all the way down the hallway. Celine's passion shines in her projects, her project wins, or behind the lens of her camera. And Bing Bing's obsession with Jeff B. Davis was passionate. I heard enough of him to last a lifetime. You guys taught me to stay true to myself, to stand up for what I believe in, and to follow my own interests and path. You should never follow someone else's path. Well, unless you're in the woods and you're lost and you see a path, then by all means you should follow it. You taught me to create lasting bonds, because not everyone will get you. Some will, some won't. Some will say they do, but then events happen in your life and you realize who's really there for you and who your true friends are. In this group, I've seen some amazing bonds that I feel are going to last. Lance and Gillier, quiet, discreet, loyal, friends are so very important to them. Tyler has an obsession with fish that I feel is lasting. It's not going anywhere. The volleyball sisters, the support they've shown each other through injuries, wins, defeats. I've always told you guys to float your own boat, fake it till you make it, or find your edge. But figure out who you are, and your people will find you. You guys taught me how to laugh. Now, you gave me lots to laugh about over the years. Like Hannah insisting that the word cucumber really belonged in the category of Q, and it should belong there. Or Gillier when, sorry, I remember calling you a dipstick, because he just couldn't figure out how to line up in the order of birthdays. It's really quite easy. Or Tyler's incessant giggling and Dawson laughing at anything and everything all the time. It was contagious. He often had us all rolling on the floor, giggling. Now, through laughing at you, I've also learned to laugh at myself. Noah, thank you for that. You taught me to laugh at myself because you're always laughing at yourself. You're fun to play tricks on because you laugh at your own gullibility. And speaking of gullibility, Jewel, there may or may not be a test on this on Monday. I'm not sure. Carter, maybe you can let her know later, okay? Thanks for the laugh, Jewel. And gullible Hannah, I have to apologize to you for that day in grade 8 when I made you cry by showing you an exam that wasn't yours. Apparently, well, you weren't supposed to say that, Dawson. Apparently, 57% wasn't quite good enough for you, and I will admit now that I did it on purpose, but it didn't get the laugh I was hoping for. You taught me that it's okay to screw up, it's okay to act silly, and it's all right to let people laugh at you. And in fact, that's how I did a lot of my teaching. And if I was going to be coming into the classroom sporting weird glasses and big noses so Peyton felt good about having to wear glasses, I might as well laugh at myself because I knew you were going to be laughing at me. You also let me be okay with myself when I was broken, because it isn't just the good times that count. You helped me to recognize those cracked parts and to learn to heal them, and a lot of that healing happened through laughter with you, and for that I thank you. You taught me to be present. Carter, this is where I remember Spencer, whom I must say lives on in you, in your eyes, and in your gentleness. Spencer taught me to really feel in the few short months he was with us in kindergarten. They say we never know what we have until it's gone, but often we do. We know we've got something good, we know we've got something great friends, great students, great family, and we celebrate that, but it still hurts if we lose it. So we have to really stop and feel the moment. You all taught me that it's okay to feel, whatever the feeling. And there are many times when you'll be going through things and feel down in the gutter. But even down there, if you turn over, roll over, and look up, open your eyes, you can see the stars. So many times I've felt such pride in my teaching because of you guys. Feel pride in your actions, internally, but do it for you. Because you can have 1,000 friends on Facebook or Instagram, but the only person that needs to know where the like button is you. Experience the moment as it unfolds. This reminds me of their last day in grade 8. I was very emotional. Now, I taught for 20 years, and I'd never been so emotional as that last day of school. They made me cry. Now, I know you guys thought it was because I was going to miss you or I liked you or something. But how do you really know? Maybe they were happy tears, like, whew, glad they're gone. But they were tears, and they were real, and I let myself feel them, and thank you for letting that be okay. Have balance. Michael, you've shown such balance through all your activities, your school, your work, your swimming, your girls, yet you just stay on an even keel. Always with your work done, always on time, and always time for others, which is so important. Gillier, Lance, Bing Bing, Jewel, you're much the same. So much change has occurred in your young lives already. You've lived in different countries, you've learned new languages, yet you all maintain a balance. If you don't find balance in your life, the battery runs low. So make sure you have time, other times in your life, when you do something completely different than what you're used to doing, be it running a marathon or having breakfast with a random stranger at Tim Hortons. Because when you go back to your routine in life, you'll feel energized. Be prepared for change, because change will happen, whether you want it to or not. My life today is almost completely different than it was 5 years ago, and it's nothing like what I thought it would be. You often have no idea what is coming at you in life or what will happen next. Mostly you just make things up as you go along, kind of like this speech. Sometimes, though, change is good, sometimes it's bad. But life has no remote control, guys, so if you want change for the better, you have to get off your butt and do it yourself. But it's not our job to change others. For example, Tanner, and I think this is two overlaps, but weight is not the same as mass, and at some point you're going to have to change your mind, change your outlook, and agree with Mr. Ross on that one, but we can't make you see that. All we can do is motivate you. And as we change, so do our dreams. Celine, Bing Bang, Hannah, Peyton, girls, your teenage crush on One Direction sadly did not last, but you're okay. You'll be okay. And it's okay for our dreams to change. It's actually an awful good thing, or we'd have a lot of princesses and superheroes in the room, and one superhero is enough in our school. Look for the magic in the story. You guys taught me not only to tell stories, but to look everywhere for them. Stories are powerful, especially Tyler's. Now, he had some powerful stories. They'd always begin with, "This one time," and they were often very teachable moments. And another teachable moment, which was alluded to before, "Wow, the sun looks like it's almost on fire." Teachable moment right there, Peyton. They say, "Tell me a fact and I'll understand. Tell me the truth, I'll believe. Tell me a story and I'll keep it in my heart forever." But remembering these stories is important. Remember it with your heart and your mind. All too often, we don't catalog memories in our mind, and we save them to this elusive iCloud. Heck, when I was your age, I didn't have the internet right here in my front pocket. Actually, I didn't even have the internet, come to think of it. But I had to keep the memories right here in my mind. So it's important, as you look for stories, use your memory to store them. Find the magic in every story, because every story you're connected with is a result of you taking action. You can either choose to be the bystander, or you can choose to be the active hero in the story. And sometimes, you just have to go with the story that's in front of you. This, grade 12s, is a bus. See? Window, window, window. All you have to do is make it believable, and they'll believe. You taught me to be bold and know no limits. Success is often the result of taking the wrong turn, but every road can lead to success. It just takes work. And the only place success comes before work is in the dictionary. Don't just say you'll try, say you'll do. And I love how this group owns it. They own their attitudes and their quirks, like Carter. Carter thinks almonds is pronounced ailments, but he owns it, so it works. And Tanner, he thinks a Scottish accent on a ski trip will get the girls, and it does. If you know no limits, you have no limits. When this group was in grade 8, they decided they were unhappy with the situation in this school. You see, we just got new smartboards in our school, and it was very frustrating to try and use them without seeing the dreaded word buffering, buffering, buffering running across, because our internet bandwidth was way too slow. We were just in the middle of a power and authority unit in social, so these guys decided they would write letters to the government demanding change. 14 separate handwritten letters. I wasn't sure they'd even get a response, but they did, a major response, from our MLA, from the Minister of Education, and from the Premier himself. And we even got a couple phone calls. But what did happen is they were heard, and the result of you stepping out beyond your limits was that the whole town of Englefeld received double the internet bandwidth. You were the change, and I was so proud of you. So when it's your turn to lead and to inspire someone else, I know you'll be ready, and I can't wait to hear you say, "It's showtime." Lastly, persist. Just do it. Dawson, I was so proud of you on Gym Blast when you finally took some school spirit all the way and wore those green fairy wings. So proud of you. And Callie, poor girl, always breaking or spraining some limb on her body, but I've admired your persistence to get back on the court time and time again. Commendable. Step out there, go after what you want. It was only last week when I heard Tanner at the staff room door saying boldly to the teachers, "My people will call your people." But no doubt they will. But sometimes, grads, fear does stand in your way. And I did recognize your fear when we were chosen to host a mock parliament here in town a few years ago. And you each had to act as MLAs and debate an issue in front of the public, Mr. Speaker, and the media. You were afraid, but you rocked it. You did Englefeld School proud. I've learned so many lessons from you, but the biggest lesson I've had to learn, and probably the most valuable, I learned quite recently from this great guy I know. Because sometimes taking a step forward is really scary. But my dad told me, You won't know the end of your story until you start the next chapter. The book isn't going to write itself. So grads, because of you, I let you guys tape me up to the school wall to raise money for Telemiracle. Because of you, I got pummeled in the face with chocolate pudding pies. Because of you and your questions, constant questions, I went to Ottawa to learn about government so I had answers. Because of you, I can smile when I talk about my mom, and because of you, I love teaching more than I ever dreamed possible. We're never done learning, my friends. You taught me that. And your theme? Within yourselves is your future. It's already in you. And for you, and for me, and for all of you who believe that our greatest selves is still out there somewhere, I ask you to look up to the stars, because there you are. Graduates, in keeping with your theme, through the Star Registry, I've had a special star named for you. It's called the 2017 Guiding Eagles, because that is what you have been to me. I've had the honor of learning from you, but now I ask you to proudly take your next step in the journey. Write the next chapter in your book. The future's in your hands, no one else's. Now, go take your place among the stars. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Harcourt. Next, we have the Valedictorian Award. The Valedictorian Award is sponsored by Mrs. Mary Schmitz-Lefebvre, a former teacher at Englefeld School. In our school, the valedictorian is selected by his or her peers. Each candidate must prepare and deliver to the class the speech that would be presented to the public on graduation night. Once the winner is determined through a secret ballot, that speech is polished and practiced for graduation. It is with great pleasure, on behalf of Mrs. Mary Schmitz-Lefebvre, to present this award to Hannah Molenbeek.
Welcome, teachers, parents, relatives, community members, and fellow graduates. Today, the countdown ends. Our graduation day has finally arrived. We got through the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. We did it. There are an infinite number of thank yous that we need to extend to everyone who helped us along this journey. Everyone who spent countless hours making this night shine, the teachers who have taught us thousands of lessons, our parents and family for always being there along the way, and my fellow graduates for the many memories. An abundance of work and planning went into the preparation of this night, from making the centerpieces, to designing our zodiac constellations, to creating the wonderful slideshow, to hanging all the decorations. Everything turned out fabulously. I am very proud of us for pulling this off and still managing to remain close in the end. Thank you to everyone who put time into our graduation night. A special thanks goes out to those who worked behind the scenes to tie everything together. Your effort has not gone unnoticed. A very special thank you to Tanner for committing hundreds of hours to creating the beautiful slideshow and fielding the question, "Are you done?" 1,000 times. You are done, right? The final product is more amazing than, well, any constellation. Words cannot explain how deserving our teachers are of our thanks and gratitude. Over the past 13 years, every single one of you has not only given us vital information towards our education, but you have also taught us valuable life lessons. Some teachers have taught us kindness, caring, and the meaning of friendship. Others have taught us how to stand up for ourselves, to turn the other cheek, and that life is not always fair,
but there is always a brighter side. Reminiscing on the last 13 years, there are many fond lessons that come to mind, many of which were taught while having fun. For example, Mrs. Knaffel climbing on her desk to teach us about writing with an omniscient voice, Mrs. Tanchuk making sure we remembered that force equals mass times acceleration by yelling this in a Scottish accent and pounding her fist on her desk, Mr. Ross's endless savagery, Mr. Burton making Noah think he was in trouble by using his big Burton voice, and Mr. Beeman's hitting us with myths when we answered questions wrong in math. Without teachers like we have in our school, our education may have been very different, and probably a lot more boring. We are so lucky to have had such amazing and dedicated teachers throughout the years. My fellow graduates and I would like to thank all of the teachers who have given us knowledge, created memories with us, and helped shape us into the individuals seated on this stage tonight. Another group of individuals who deserve thanks beyond measure is our parents. They have been with us from day one, literally. They have shown us an aspect of life that only a family can. Unconditional love and support are lessons not often found anywhere else. Our parents always help us get up and brush ourselves off after being knocked down. Every step of the way, our parents have been by our side, like attending hundreds of hockey games, volleyball games, basketball games, taekwondo tournaments, swim meets, and dance, piano, or voice competitions. We may have thought it was unnecessary, or maybe even annoying, but it was done out of love. We are the stars of their universe after all. No matter how many times we make mistakes, push their buttons, or forget they do have more knowledge than us on some things, they love us. Even now, as we begin our own journeys, they will still be there for us like they always have. Thank you to the moms and dads for everything you have done. Because of you, we know we will always be loved and cherished. The morals you have instilled in us and lessons you have taught us are invaluable. Thank you 100-fold for everything. Last, but certainly not least, thank you to my classmates. Thank you for the memories and for sharing your lives with the rest of us. Each one of us has given a part of ourselves to the class through the thousands of hours we have spent together. We have all learned from each other. Through each of the very different personalities, a variety of ideas to live by can be gained, like to always be yourself, sometimes you should keep your mouth shut, hard work brings success, or having fun is important too. We are truly lucky to have experienced this chapter of our lives together. Thank you, fellow graduates, for all that you have taught and given each and every one of us. Congratulations, class of 2017. We are coming to the end of this journey, but there are so many more ahead for every single one of us. Thank you, teachers, parents, and everyone else for your role in our lives. We are endlessly grateful. Fellow classmates, go out and create your own future. Our destiny is not in the stars, but in ourselves.
Thank you, Hannah. I would now like to ask Mrs. Corey Harcourt to come forward to help me with the presentation of the scrolls and pins.
Gillier John Crisanto. Lance Ryan Gonzalez. Callie Ann Murray. Celine Marie Miscosi. Bing Bing Zhang. Hannah Teresa Mullenbeck. Jewel de los Santos. Carter Reese Ronval. Tyler Joseph Altermat. Dawson Regan Rhea. Tanner David Zimmerman. Michael Cameron Carnago. Noah Hunter Carnago. Peyton Bailey Zimmerman.
Now we're going to have a little transition time. And so the grads have a special presentation for their parents. They've got a rose to give to them. And the curtains will close, and we're going to have a lot of magic happening behind the stage right now. I hope the curtains are going to close. Maybe. And so grads, you may go give your gift to your parents. And while we're waiting for everything to get prepared behind stage, our Director of Education, Mr. Kevin Geringer, is unable to be here this evening, and so he asked me to read a letter on his behalf. Dear Englefeld School Class of 2017, although I am unable to attend your ceremony this year, I am very pleased to congratulate you on behalf of my office as Director of Education for Englefeld Protestant Separate School Division. As you reflect on your time at Englefeld School, you will no doubt remember many teachers, coaches, family members, and school staff who have helped you to realize your potential. You will also recall friendships made, challenges faced, and many hours of study. Each of these experiences have made you into the fine young people you are today. It is not in the stars to hold your destiny, but in yourselves. Your choice of theme for this year's ceremony indicates your excitement for the future. It is clear that you will strive for success on your own terms as you venture out into your adult lives. I am certainly excited to be part of the future that will be shaped by future leaders such as yourself. I would like to thank each of you for your hard work towards achieving this important milestone in your lives. I would also like to thank your parents, school staff, community, and the EPSSD Board of Education for their invaluable work to help you along the way. We wish you a future of continued success as you go forward and create your own path. It is truly in yourselves that you will continue to realize successes beyond high school. The curtains will probably open shortly for the slideshow. We'll also have to have somebody turn the front light switch will have to get turned off. So if somebody can, always forget to assign somebody. Thank you, Brooke.
perfect outside. It's like God let me dial up the weather. Got the whole crew here. I ain't seen some of them in forever. It's one of those never forget it, better stop and take it in kind of scenes. Everything's just right, yeah, except for one thing. You should be here, standing with your arm around me here, and cutting up, cracking a cold beer, saying cheers. Hey y'all, it's sure been a good year. It's one of those moments that's got your name written all over it. And you know that if I had just one wish, it'd be that you didn't have to miss this. You should be here. You'd be taking way too many pictures on your phone, showing them off to everybody that you know back home, and even some you don't. Yeah, they say now you're in a better place, and I would be too if I could see your face. You should be here, standing with your arm around me here, cutting up, cracking a cold beer, saying cheers. Hey y'all, it's sure been a good year. It's one of those moments it's got your name written all over it. And you know that if I had just one wish, it'd be that you didn't have to miss this. Oh, you should be here. You'd be loving this. You'd be freaking out. You'd be smiling. Yeah, I know you'd be all about what's going on right here, right now. God, I wish somehow you could be here. Oh, you should be here. Yeah, this is one of those moments that's got your name written all over it. And you know that if I had just one wish, it'd be that you didn't have to miss this. Oh, you should be here. You should be here. Memories fade, but they're never lost. Colors change with time and change of heart. If I hold on to the memories and use them to guide me, will you be right here beside me? Everything I know is behind me. I'm starting a new life. I just don't want to say goodbye. Sun has set on everything we know, friends we've made. I don't want to let go. After everything that we have learned, it's our time now. It's our turn. If I hold on to the memories and use them to guide me, will you be right here beside me? Everything I know is behind me. I'm starting a new life.
wire fence carving on a hillside, cutting holes in the midday sun, like a postcard framed in a windshield covered in dust. I love the rhythm of an old gray blacktop, 33's just whistling by. Steer the wheel one-handed on a two-lane, hugging that line. I got the windows down, no one else around, singing. Freedom is the miles I'm rolling on. Out here cruising to a back road song. I feel the wheels like a melody, like a radio dialing in strong. Come on, sing along to my back road song. I hit the brakes for an old New Holland, hammer down and pass them on up. The breeze smells like a summertime hayfield's just been cut. I got the windows down, way out of town, singing. Freedom is the miles I'm rolling on. Out here cruising to a back road song. I feel the wheels like a melody, like a radio dialing in strong. Come on, sing along to my back road song. Today could get better. Girl, what I'm thinking is I can pick you up, you slide in this truck, I can hear you singing. Ooh, let me hear you singing. Ooh. Freedom is the miles we're rolling on. Song. I feel the wheels like a melody, like a radio dialing in strong. Come on, sing along to my back road song. Come on, sing along to my back road song. This is my back road song. This is my back road song. Come on, sing along to my back road song.
Here's to you, you were pink or blue, and everything I wanted. Here's to you, never sleeping through, from midnight till the morning. Had to crawl before you walked, before you ran, before I knew it. You were trying to free your fingers from my hand, 'cause you could do it on your own now. Somehow. Slow down, won't you stay here a minute more? I know you wanna walk through the door, but it's all too fast. Let's make it last a little while. I pointed to the sky, and now you wanna fly. I am your biggest fan, I hope you know I am. But do you think you can somehow slow down? Sunday. Here's to Barbie cars, lightsaber wars. Sleeping in on Sunday. Had to crawl before you walked, before you ran. Before I knew it, you were teaching me the only thing love can. Hold hands through it when it's scary. You've got me. Let's slow down. Won't you stay here a minute more? I know you wanna walk through the door, but it's all too fast. Let's make it last a little while. I pointed to the sky, and now you wanna fly. I am your biggest fan. I hope you know I am. But do you think you can somehow slow down? Please don't roll your eyes at me. I know I'm embarrassing, but someday you'll understand. You'll hold a little hand. Ask them if they can. Cause it's all too fast. I am your biggest fan. I hope you know I am. But do you think you can somehow slow down? Slow down.
She was staring out the window of their SUV, complaining, saying, I can't wait to turn 18. She said, I'll make my own money and I'll make my own rules. Mama put the car in park out there in front of the school, and she kissed her head and said, I was just like you. You're gonna miss this. You're gonna want this back. You're gonna wish these days hadn't gone by so fast. These are some good times, so take a good look around. You may not know it now, but you're gonna miss this. Before she knows it, she's a brand new bride in her one-bedroom apartment, and her daddy stops by. He tells her it's a nice place. She says, it'll do for now. Starts talking about babies and buying a house. Daddy shakes his head and says, baby, just slow down. You're gonna miss this. You're gonna want this back. You're gonna wish these days hadn't gone by so fast. These are some good times, so take a good look around. You may not know it now, but you're gonna miss this. Working on the water heater, dogs barking, phones ringing, one kid's crying, one kid's screaming, and she keeps apologizing. He says they don't bother me. I've got two babies of my own, one One's 36, one's 23. It's hard to believe, but you're gonna miss this. You're gonna want this back. You're gonna wish these days hadn't gone by so fast. These are some good times, so take a good look around. You may not know it now, but you're gonna miss this. You're gonna miss this. Yeah, you're gonna miss this.
Everything's so small when you're on top of the world. It's hard to understand what's still yet to unfold. Pretending to be who you're not is a waste of what you got. Keep dreaming, keep dreaming, keep dreaming, keep on, keep believing.
We are the kings and queens, our hearts they break, we may fall in between the cracks. Living life like it's just a game of blackjack. I don't know how, but we always find our way back. Looking back when I was just a little girl with a big dream, living in a lonely world. It seems life is impossible, so believe that you're unstoppable. Hey!
We are stars and we are open-hearted. We are lovers. We are into loving. We are stars and we are open-hearted. We are lovers. We are built for loving. It's hard to see the light when you're caught up in your life. You're scared and insecure, cause now it's fight or flight. Can't think of giving up. You don't know how much you love. Keep dreaming, keep dreaming, keep dreaming, keep on, keep believing.
We are the kings and queens, our hearts they break, we may fall in between the cracks. Living life like it's just a game of blackjack. I don't know how, but we always find our way back. Looking back when I was just a little girl with a big dream, living in a lonely world. It seems life is impossible, so believe that you're unstoppable. Hey!
We are stars and we are open-hearted. We are lovers. We are into loving. We are stars and we are open-hearted. We are lovers. We are built for loving.
It's going to take a few seconds for curtains to get closed and things to change. And if somebody could just turn that front light back on again up here. As soon as the curtains are closed, and while we're waiting for the transition, we have a musical selection. Celine Muscolzi, Taven Athmer, accompanied by Dulcie Kurzinger. And they're singing their version of I See the Light.
All those days watching from the windows, all those years outside looking in, all that time never even knowing just how blind we've been. Now we're here, blinking in the starlight. Now we're here, suddenly we see, standing here, it's so, so clear, we're where we're meant the fog has lifted, and at last we see the light, and it's like the sky is new, and it's warm and real and bright, and the world has somehow shifted. All at once, everything looks different now that we are here.
All those days chasing down a daydream, all those years living in a blur, all that time never truly seeing things the way they were. Now we're here, shining in the starlight. Now we're here, suddenly we know. If we're here, it's crystal clear. We're where we're meant to go. And at last we see the light, and it's like the fog has lifted. And at last we see the light,
And it's like the sky is new,
and it's warm and real and bright, and the world has somehow shifted. All at once, everything is different now that we are here. Now that we are here.
Okay.
And now the grads are going to make their way to the stage. We will now continue the evening with the awards ceremony. This evening, I would ask the presenters of the awards to be ready to come forward in advance of being named. The presentations will be in the order they are on the back of your program. Now, in some cases, a sponsor was unable to find a presenter or they were unable to be here. For these awards, I will simply name the recipient right here, and Mrs. Harcourt will move across to center stage to meet the person who is the recipient. For the rest of the awards, we're going to try something different this year. We're going to use our remote mic over here, and I'm just going to allow the presenters to come up, and then they can use the stairs with the railing, which is always easier. And they can just come forward. Mrs. Harcourt will meet them with the plaque. They can announce the award winner, and then they can still step somewhat to the center to shake hands, and then they can go off the side here once again. So, just going to try it a little different, and then we leave the grads open. It's a little bit easier to see them. To begin with, we have the academic awards. This award is given to the student who attains the highest average in a combination of 7 or 8 academic subjects, which includes ELA, math, science, French, other electives, social, history, health, accounting, PAA, and so on. It depends upon what we're offering in a given year. We'll begin with the Grade 7 Awards. We have a new sponsor for this award this year. The Grade 7 Academic Award is sponsored by Centra Realty, and the face of Centra Realty in Englefeld is Mr. Don Bohe, and he's going to come forward to present this award.
Thank you, Mrs. Knaffel. And thank you for the steps with the railings.
You're welcome.
Makes it a lot easier for the senior citizens. On behalf of Centra, I would just like to congratulate all the graduates and wish you the very best. The Grade 7 Academic Award winner is Jamartson Napegwin.
Napigwit. Is Jamart here today?
Thank you.
Are you? No, Jamart's not here today. Good heavens. So, Mr. Bohe, you don't even have to walk across to shake his hand, but Mrs. Harcourt will come get it from you. But congratulations to Jamart. As teachers, we encourage students to be here. We say, please be there. You never know if you're going to receive an award, but it doesn't always work for every family. The Grade 8 Academic Award is sponsored by Floodale Farms, and the presenter this evening will be Lori Brecker.
On behalf of Floodale Farms, I'm pleased to present this Grade 8 Academic Award to Gillian Crisanto.
Congratulations, Gillian. And Mrs. Harcourt's taking her shoes off. We see her in bare feet. She's got the most beautiful shoes, but most days she walks in bare feet because it's hard to walk in beautiful shoes all the time. The Grade 9 Academic Award is sponsored by Swarovski Service. They are unable to be here to present this evening, and so on behalf of Swarovski Service, I am pleased to announce that Celdine Fajardo is the recipient this year. The Grade 10 Award has a new sponsorship again. Our newest business in Englefeld, Twisted Tales, has taken over this sponsorship. They are unable to be here to present, and so on their behalf, the Grade 10 Award will be announced. And this year we have, it is unbelievable when the total is less than 2, and you have to divide that by 8, and you know how the math goes. And so we have a shared academic award this year in Grade 10. Kara Mascolzi and Christina Ostrowski. And you know, it's interesting because these aren't the only 2 girls that battle hard all year. There's about 4 or 5 students in that class. It's a highly academic class, and they strive and they make each other stronger every day. The Grade 11 Award is sponsored by Randy and Brenda Strunk, and Randy Strunk is coming forward to make that presentation.
On behalf of my wife and I, it gives me great pleasure to present this to Dean Arguellis.
The Grade 12 Academic Award is sponsored by Bel M Farms. Richard Molenbeek will make that presentation.
On behalf of everyone at Bel M Farms, I'd like to present 2 awards here for academic, grade 12, one to Bing Bing Zhang and Peyton, and the other to Peyton Zimmerman.
And that's another example where the numbers are so close when you add up the totals that when you divide it, you get like a 0.01% difference or something. The athletic awards. This year we had another amazing year in athletics. The senior girls volleyball team earned a berth to 1A provincials, capturing the bronze medal. In cross-country running, Taven Athmer and Christine Ostrowski competed at the provincial level. We had senior district medals in archery. In badminton, Cale Zimmerman competed in provincials. And in track and field, Christine Ostrowski represented our school at the provincial level of competition. Congratulations to all the athletes who represented our schools at these various levels. The athletic awards allow the school to acknowledge the individuals who displayed sportsmanship, leadership, commitment, and athletic ability. Selection for this award was based upon observations during our physical education classes, during our intramural, as well as our extracurricular sports. 4 awards are presented this evening, 2 at the junior level and 2 at the senior level. We have no presenters for any of these awards, so I'll announce all from the podium. The first award is the junior male category. This is sponsored by Ken and Wendy McGonigal. Finalists in this category are Ethan Murray, Cody Crone, and Dylan Kerzinger. This evening, the winner of this award is Ethan Murray. In the junior female category, this award is sponsored by Trims by Zims, and this year they've asked us to present from the podium. The finalists in this category are Sydney Benderbush, Princess Tulabut, and Gillian Crisanto. And the winner this evening is Gillian Crisanto. In the senior male category, we have an award sponsored by the Village of Englefeld. Finalists in this category are Michael Carnago, Taven Athermer, and Carter Ronbell. This evening, on behalf of the Village, I'm pleased to announce that the senior male winner is Taven Athmer. I think Taven plays every sport there is. Curled, everything. He does everything. Senior female, this was a tough one. We basically could nominate pretty well every girl on the senior girls volleyball team. But sponsored by Greenside Sod. Finalists in this category are Peyton Zimmerman, Bing Bing Zhang, Brooke Muller, Kara Muscolzi, Christine Ostrowski. On behalf of Greenside Sod, I am pleased to announce that the Senior Female Athletic Award winner is Peyton Zimmerman. Then we move to our Leadership Awards. This award is presented to the student who displayed initiative, was sensibly and actively involved in school, was organized, who motivated fellow students, and enhanced the morale of the school. There are 3 awards, 1 for each classroom. The Grade 7 Leadership Award is sponsored by the CWL and KFC, and this evening is presented by Mike Mascolzi. Finalists in this category are Cody Crone, Gillian Crisanto, Landon Stockberger.
On behalf of the Englefeld Knights of Columbus and the CWL, I'm very pleased to present this to Landon Stockberger.
The Grade 9 Leadership Award is sponsored by the RM of St. Peter. Finalists in this category are Kara Mascolzi, Christina Ostrowski, Royce Molenbeek, Nicholas Vanderbush. And this evening, the award is being presented to Royce Molenbeek. The Grade 11-12 Leadership Award is sponsored by Lance and Crystal Nordic. Finalists in this category are Celine Mascolzi, Hannah Molenbeek, Tanner Zimmerman. I knew I was going to do that somewhere along the way. Sorry, Tanner. The winner this evening is Hannah Molenbeek. The next category is our Signature Eagle. The winner of this award is always striving to succeed while maintaining a positive attitude and outlook, and I think that's so critical. The recipient participates in class, has a good attendance record, works hard at everything they do. Once again, we present 3 Eagles, 1 for each classroom. The Grade 7-8 Eagle Award is sponsored by Condors Manufacturing 1997 Limited. This evening, the finalists are Landon Stockberger and Demartna Pigquit. The winner of this award is Landon Stockberger. We get to that Grade 9 group again, Grade 9-10 classroom. This is a tough one. The Grade 9-10 award is sponsored by Schulte Industries. Finalists in this category are Marco Sweet, Tia Zimmerman, Cheyenne Morrison, and Dean Carnago is presenting on behalf of Schulte Industries.
Thank you. On behalf of Schulte Industries, I'm extremely happy to present this to Tia Zimmerman.
The Grade 11-12 award is sponsored in memory of Wilf Condors. Finalists in this category are Tanner Zimmerman, Michael Carnago, Peyton Zimmerman, Celine Mascolzi. And the winner this evening of the Grade 11 and 12 Eagle Award is Celine Mascolzi. Some of the plaques have a large plaque, a wall plaque that stays at the school, so we bring them up so the grads can see that their name is engraved on that, and that stays in our school for forever. We've already presented our valedictorian award to Hannah. The next awards are solely for our Grade 12s. Once again, we're not going out to take yearbook pictures or anything like that, so grads, when you get your award, you just simply have to go back to your seat once again. The first is the Spencer Lane Ronville Memorial. In memory of Spencer Lane Ronville, award has been set up, which will continue until 2017, the year Spencer would have graduated. That's this year.
The award, a plaque, and a check are presented to the grade 12 who displays good work ethic, determination, optimism, cooperation, self-motivation, and leadership. Tonight, this award will be presented by Jade Ronbell.
On behalf of my family, I'm pleased to present this award to my little brother, Carter Ronbell.
Our Math Science Award. The recipient must have the highest average when calculating any two of our sciences, biology 30, physics 30, chemistry 30, and any two of our level 30 math courses. This $200 scholarship is sponsored by Roman and Carol Zimmerman, and this evening will be presented by Carol Zimmerman.
On behalf of Roman and myself, I am pleased to present this award to Bing Bing Zhang.
The History Award is sponsored by Alice Rideau in memory of her husband, Morris. This scholarship is presented to the student who shows a keen interest in history by asking questions, seeking further knowledge to gain a more complete understanding of the way the world operates. This evening, the award is being presented by Morris's granddaughter, Elizabeth Best.
On behalf of Alice and Morris Rideau, I'd like to present this to Michael Carnago.
The John Schotley Memorial Award is a $1,000 scholarship. It is presented to the grade 12 who has achieved the highest academic standing. This award is sponsored by Schulte Industries, and this evening is being presented by Trevor Kowalski. I think she grabbed the wrong one.
Well, good evening.
This is the great big thing over here.
This year, the John Schulte Memorial Award will be presented to two individuals. I actually had the pleasure of coaching both of these young ladies for the last 3 seasons, and I can tell you not only are they deserving of this award, they're both great leaders, and they happen to be not bad volleyball players too. So on behalf of Schulte Industries, it's my great pleasure to present this award to Peyton Zimmerman and Bing Bing Zhang.
Unless you want a picture. And girls, you'll talk to Trevor later and he'll tell you how you access that scholarship money. The English Award is sponsored by the Beemans family and is presented to the student who has a flair for writing. The writer conveys well-organized, interesting ideas which flow smoothly using the conventions of the English language. In addition to a small commemorative plaque, the recipient receives a $200 scholarship. This award is being presented by Charles Beemans.
On behalf of Deb and I and the family, I'd like to present this award to Tanner Zimmerman.
Next, on behalf of Affinity Credit Union, Deanna Mascolzi is going to come forward to speak on the award that's being presented. This is, no, Affinity Credit Union. Yeah, don't worry, Kareen. That's okay, Kareen.
Okay, the Affinity Build a Better World Scholarship recognizes students across Saskatchewan who show commitment and excellence in academics and leadership and who are already working to build a better world for everyone every day through their community involvement activities and their commitment to cooperative principles. Affinity Credit Union awards 88 $500 scholarships each spring to grade 12 students who are moving on to continue their studies at a post-secondary education institution. We're thrilled to recognize the impact and value these students bring to our communities and wish them every success as they start their post-secondary education. So on behalf of Affinity Credit Union, I'm very pleased to present this 2017 Build a Better World Scholarship to Hannah Mullenbeck.
Next, we have our Community Service Awards. These awards are sponsored by the Englefeld School Community Council, and tonight they will be presented by our School Community Council Chairperson, Christy Richardson.
On behalf of the SCC, I am pleased to be presenting the Community Service Award. The Englefeld School Community Council provides this award every year to our students, and this award is based on the students' contribution to their school and to their community. To become eligible for this award, students are asked to fill out an application summarizing what community means to them and provide details of past community involvement, whether it is volunteer work or extracurricular activities. The applications are taken to a selection committee comprised of community members to choose the successful recipients. Tonight, we are proud to present these two awards to our junior, Tanner Vanderbush, and our senior, Christina Ostrovsky.
The last award is the Governor General's Medal. A bronze medal is awarded to the student who achieves the highest average upon a graduation. This average includes all grade 11 and 12 courses as listed on the student's official transcript of grades, which is issued by our Ministry of Education. Since this average must be calculated rather than anticipated, the recipient is not known until mid-July of the year they graduate. In order to recognize the accomplishments, we publicly award this medal in the following graduation year. This year it is my pleasure to present the 2016 Governor General's Medal to Amber Herzer. Well, that's it. It actually goes faster than you realize once we get to this part. And although we've had the air conditioning going all evening, I know that I'm not feeling too bad up here, but I can't imagine how stifling it is down there. I thank you for being here this evening and making this just a wonderful celebration of our community. The grads will leave the gym in a few minutes. When they leave, we all hands on deck, stacking chairs. Now, I'm a little anal about stacking chairs. The black chairs get stacked with the black chairs. Legs have to go behind, not in front. About 8 high, don't go 20, they fall over. The green chairs, the old, like the ones that have always been in our gym, very distinctive, stack about 8, maybe 10 high. Be sure the legs are behind, otherwise they topple over. Now, here's the trick. There are chairs at the back that come from down the hallway of the school. Our kids know Mrs. Knafel's pretty particular about these chairs. There are chairs with thick legs and chairs with thin legs. They do not go together when you try to stack them. So check carefully, thick or thin, and stack accordingly. So we're just going to stack the chairs to the side and create a space in the center, and the grads will come back in and they'll have a few special dances before our evening is concluded. And so I'm going to ask you to remain seated, but grads, please stand. And once again, join me in congratulating our graduating class of 2017. So the girls are grabbing onto the bottom of their dress so that they don't trip. The guys are buttoning up their suits. Please remain seated as the grads exit to the song, Verge, by Owl City.
I ain't too sure what I believe in, but I believe in what I see. And when I close my eyes, I see my whole life ahead of me.